It's the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. Welcome to another episode of The Mike Prince Show. It is our mission to try to bring you some news you could use. Today is no exception to that rule. Follow me on Twitter at The Mike Prince Show. The YouTube channel is the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Our website is obnradio.com. You can check out the 24-hour stream that is available on the website. And if you have one of those smart devices, you can always say, hey, play the latest episode of The Mike Prince Show. And just like that, you'll have everything that you need. And with that being established, let us jump into today's episode. We know that football is flying high right about now as we get closer toward the kickoffs, but there is still awesome baseball and softball being played in the NCAA tournaments. The championship game between Oklahoma and Florida State is all set, and that should be a very, very intriguing 2 out of 3 series to be played for the winner takes all champion to be crowned. The baseball tournaments are really taking odds, twists, and turns, and got me to looking a little bit deeper into the woulda, couldas, and the what if syndrome when it comes to the Southwestern Athletic Conference, or if you want to say any other mid-market programs or mid-sized programs, however you want to classify them, mid-majors, and the possibilities of a run that they could make in the baseball platform. And it really boils down not really on money. We know that money is a contributing factor to the haves and the have-nots. And I've talked about the nutritional and weight training balancing act to that. But there is another piece that is really making even more sense to me that I further looked into this thing. Now, we know that RPI is part of the factoring determination on how and who gets the at-large bids when it comes to the NCAA tournaments. And I'm focused on baseball, softball right now. And it's boiling down to the RPI rankings, strength of schedule. And you look at the body of work across the boards, and it's really got to be all for one and one for all approach, if you're asking me. You can't have 3/4 of your programs doing it, quote unquote, the right way, and then other parts of the programs are doing enough to get by or to save face, if you would. And when you look at the pluses and the minuses, yes, it's kind of sucky that we have only one bid, and that's your champion bid from the tournament. And I'm thinking more or less along the lines of an Alabama State right now. We may mention that if there was pressure on anyone leading into the Southwestern Athletic Conference tournament, it was on Alabama State and then perhaps Grambling State. Reason being because of the success that they had during the regular season. And even though they played some reputable competition in the case of Alabama State, because of the constituents that make up the conference, really was a suffering fatal blow to eliminate them from an at-large bid. And it began to I guess, baffle me slightly. And I did a little cross-reference, and we'll go a little bit more detailed later on, not this episode, but episodes to come, of the RPI rankings. And to my surprise, the bottom 3 rankings for RPI in the nation, well, not in the nation, but of the conference, but involved throughout the nation, 300 programs that are on Division I level. The magic number there is 300. And when you look at the RPI rankings, the 3 worst RPI rankings in the Southwestern Athletic Conference, believe it or not, was Prairie View A&M University at 290 of 300. Then Mississippi Valley, 292 of 300. And last but not least, Texas Southern at 296 of a 300 ranking. And we often hear the dog piles on Mississippi Valley State because of challenge in the budget area, its remote location, and you somewhat expect that dealing with some of the circumstances. But to my surprise, Prairie View and Texas Southern, and it was so head-scratching for me, the only antidote to this, in all fairness, is going to be how we schedule our games. Now, in the event and support of Texas Southern, they are in a very unique bubble. Their home park, of course, is a city park in Houston, McGregor Park. And it's really hard to get D1 programs to want to meet up and play a D1 game in a public park. But reports have been indicating that Texas Southern is working feverishly on addressing the ballpark issues. There's been some discussion of trying to relocate the baseball and softball complex on the campus. And they follow through on that, and that makes waves. That will be a huge turnaround for Texas Southern. But in the case of Prairie View, when you look at some of the challenges that are facing Prairie View, there's been for years now discussion about the lighting situation at Tankersley Stadium. Because of the lighting situation, it makes it very challenging to play night games, which could be an attraction to draw some legitimate D1 programs to play some evening, midweek games, and even some night weekend games. And it makes that one a little tricky, even though the discussion has been going on for some years now. You would think that, with some management of budgets, this, that, and the other, and this might be way over, well, I can't say even might be, it's definitely way over the coaching mechanism when it comes to this piece, but to address the lighting situation. And then, of course, it's going to be your scheduling. Now, I've been on this for quite some time, and when you look at the state of Texas, there are plenty of D1 programs that could balance out your strength of schedule. When you look in the cases of the state of Mississippi, you might take a little bit creative outreach, but there are enough D1 programs to balance out your strength of schedule. Definitely in the state of Alabama and Louisiana, the cases are the same. We don't even have to mention about the opportunities that reside in Florida. So, yes, in the beginning, it's going to be extremely difficult trying to catch up with the D1 talent, and not just with your starting rotations and starting lineups, with your quality of depth. But the only way that you can start addressing and rectifying this is you're going to have to step into the deep end of the pool and start challenging the student athletes, the program itself, and the administrative support on having legitimate D1 programs. And as I mentioned in other episodes and commentary, don't claim a D1 status, but yet operate in a D3 mentality. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're going to operate with a D3 mentality, then go to the D3 spectrum. If you're going to be in a D1 atmosphere, you don't have to spend all of your money, but you're going to have to increase some of the money that you're investing back into these D1 athletic programs. And that's just simply the bottom line. But with all that being said, life will go forward, move on for the day's next challenge. Don't forget, we have more preseason projections. We're going to be discussing the schedules of Alcorn, Texas Southern, Alabama State, and Alabama A&M from the football side of things. I want to remind you guys that you can follow me on Twitter at The Mike Prince Show. The YouTube channel is the Open Mic Broadcast Network. And don't forget to visit the website obnradio.com. Check out the 24-hour stream, all sorts of entertainment, information right at your fingertips. I've got the exit stage left for right now. My time is far spent. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. Thank you guys for joining in with us for yet another day. So until the next time, you guys be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.